We can call the meeting to order. Notice was posted in accordance to Wisconsin statute 19.84 open meeting law. At this time, we'll ask the secretary to please read the notice of public hearing.
Notice of public hearing, State of Wisconsin, County of Burnett, Monday, May 4th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the Burnett County Government Center in room 165, Town of Neenah, Siren, Wisconsin, regarding the following. Variance 2605 Bone. Public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Rusk, Burnett County, Wisconsin, that Craig and Pamela Bowen have made application relative to a proposal to vary the terms of the Burnett County Land Use and Shoreland Protection Code of Ordinances as follows. To leave a patio that was constructed without a land use permit, which does not meet the required setback to the ordinary high water mark of Rice Lake, and to leave an expansion to a non-conforming cabin and dwelling that was constructed without a land use permit, which exceeds 25% of the building envelope at 2069 County Road G in the RR1 zoning district, Lot 1 CSM, Volume 19, page 140, and a parcel described in document number 494941 in Government Lot Section 5, or Lot 5, Section 10, 3914. Variance 2606 Lindsay. Public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Jackson, Burnett County, Wisconsin, that David Lindsay has made an application relative to a proposal to vary the terms of the Burnett County Land Use and Shoreland Protection Code of Ordinances as follows. To leave a porch that was recently constructed, which does not meet the required road setback at 4396 Deer Path Road in the PUD zoning district, Lot 157, Deer Path addition to Voyager Village, Section 10, 40, 15. Variance 2608 Middlestadt. Public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Siren, Burnett County, Wisconsin, that Jean Middlestadt has made an application relative to a proposal to vary the terms of the Burnett County Land Use and Shoreland Protection Code of Ordinances as follows. To leave an accessory structure that was constructed or placed without a land use permit, which does not meet the required wetland setback and the required road setback at 8089 Big Dr. Lake Road in the RR2 zoning district, Lot 2 CSM, Volume 4, page 242, in Government Lot 10, Section 6, 3816. Variance 2609 Majestat. Public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Anderson, Burnett County, Wisconsin, that Robert and Jean Majestat have made an application relative to a proposal to vary the terms of the Burnett County Land Use and Shoreland Protection Code of Ordinances as follows. To leave a garage that was constructed without a land use permit, which does not meet the required setback to the ordinary high water mark of Logging Creek at 14487 Alstead Road in the RR3 zoning district in the northwest quarter of the southwest quarter, Section 28, 37, 19. Variance 2610 Potachek. Public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Oakland, Burnett County, Wisconsin, that Michael Potachek has made an application relative to the proposal to vary the terms of the Burnett County Land Use and Shoreland Protection Code of Ordinances as follows. To expand a non-conforming cabin or dwelling more than 25% located at 27399 County Road T in the A2 zoning district in the southeast quarter of the northeast quarter, Section 364016. And I apologize if I didn't say your names right.
Oh, that'll happen again because that's how I'll do it. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda order?
Make a motion.
Motion by Daniels. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Campion. Any other discussion on the agenda order? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries to approve the agenda order. At this time, we'll go through the meeting procedures. When your variance is called up, we'll ask that one applicant come to the table, plead your case or give us the information that you need for the situation. The board may ask you questions at this time. Once you're done presenting your case, you can go back to your seat. Then the board will open up the public hearing. We may ask additional questions throughout the process. And then anytime after this decision is made, which will be next month, 30 days from now, the decision documents will be signed. That starts the clock for the appeal process. So if you do not like the outcome of your circumstance, you have a 30-day appeal process from when the documents are signed, and that needs to be done in certiorari court. So other than that, we have general public comments. Yep.
I'm Karen Lockwood Anderson, a resident of Burnett County. Thank you to all of the Board of Adjustment members and to Burnett County staff. Your positions can be challenging with little gratitude from those you serve. I ask that the members of the Board of Adjustment to maintain the intent and integrity of the ordinances and laws, especially when it affects shoreland areas for the future health of our waterways. The requirement to meet the three-step variance test does not allow for personal opinion or personal agreement or disagreement with the ordinances, but proof that those steps have been met. Please consider the educated research statements provided by staff when making your decisions to help ensure the intent and protections of the ordinances and laws are met. I'm simply not comfortable with the landowners who follow the rules essentially being held to a higher standard than those applying for after the fact permission. Thanks.
Any other public comments? If not, we'll go into variance 2605 bond to leave a patio at a reduced lake setback on Rice Lake and to leave a cabin expansion on a parcel that is non-conforming for cabin dwelling density increase beyond 25%.
Yes.
Good evening. My name is Pam Bone. I am speaking on behalf of North Winds Resort and Bar, located at 2069 County Road G, Spooner, Wisconsin. I am respectfully requesting approval for two zoning variances currently listed on your agenda. These variances concern improvements made without necessary paperwork, and I'm seeking the board's support in resolving these matters. My husband and I purchased North Winds Resort and Bar on July 15th, 2016 via land contract and finalized that sale in November of 2016. At the time of the purchase, the property included 1 bar dwelling, 4 campers, 3 cabins, 2 sheds. Today, the property features 1 bar dwelling, 4 campers, 4 cabins, 2 sheds, and 1 fish house. When we acquired the property, the patio consisted of loose decorative rock, about 1 to 1.5 inches in size, arranged in a wine glass shape. This surface presented a significant tripping hazard for our guests. In 2019, we replaced the loose rock with removable pavers to enhance the safety and accessibility. These pavers are not permanently installed and can be removed if required. We were advised that the patio needed to be restored to its original condition due to the proximity of the high water mark of Rice Lake, which is controlled by the Yellow River. There is established vegetation between the patio and the shoreline. The lawn is maintained without fertilizer. Over nearly 10 years of ownership, we have not observed any erosion or runoff impact for the lake. As a commercial business, reverting the area to vegetation is impractical. This space experienced heavy foot traffic, excuse me, from guests and staff. Grass or natural vegetation would deteriorate quickly and lead to mud erosion and unsafe conditions. Our establishment operates a small basement bar with a steep stairway entrance. The rear sidewalk and patio are essential for elderly guests and those with mobility challenges, and serve as a designated drop-off area for handicapped guests. We work diligently to promote tourism in Burnett County and are actively involved with 2 of our snowmobile and ATV clubs and the Wisconsin Tavern League. In 2025, we were honored to be recognized as one of the top 10 Wisco Bar property and resorts. We believe the patio pavers significantly enhance guest safety, accessibility, and the property's overall appearance. The second variance request concerns cabin 1. Storm damage necessitated the replacement of the roof and the siding. During these repairs, we also updated doors, windows to ensure structural, integrity and maintaining building appearance. At the same time, we expanded the cabin's footprint by 196 square feet using the original foundation present on the site. Additionally, we constructed 330 square foot covered porch designed to improve the guest comfort and safe and easy access to the cabin during inclement weather. This cabin is available for seasonal rental May 1st through October 1st only. We acknowledge that these improvements were made without obtaining the proper permits and respectfully request a variance allowing these enhancements to remain. There are additional violations listed in your packet. Regarding the campers, 2 have been on the property since 2012. The other 2 were placed in 2015. Each camper is equipped with a 400-gallon holding tank. And like I said, we acquired the property in 2016. They were there prior to our buying. Cabin 4, which is also seasonal, was moved onto the property for our personal use. After a year, we decided to rent it as a cabin. The remaining one is the fish house located near the creek, and it will be removed. We understand the importance of zoning regulations and regret the oversight of failing to obtain the necessary approval beforehand. We're asking the board to consider safety, accessibility, and economic benefits of these improvements and to grant both requested variances.
Questions from the board? Let's see, there's new stuff. Well,
Yeah,
we're on Sunday, so. Anything else you want to present at this time? If not, we have some questions we can go back and forth. So.
Did that.
Yep, go ahead.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll open public hearing for variance 2605. Vaughn, any information, Jason, that came in? We have letters that are in the packet. Anything last minute that isn't?
No, we should have. Yes, you have everything. You had comments from the county conservationist, Emily, that's in your package. The stuff we got tonight.
Any public comments from anyone in attendance? Yes, if you could state your name, please.
My name is Roger Knowles. I'm resident of Washburn County, but I happen to have a family on North Sand Lakes in Burnett County. And I spend a great deal of time on Little Rice Lake, primarily in the wintertime. I and thousands of other folks, it's a great pan fishing lake. I shouldn't be telling the whole group that, but great pan fishing lake. And because of the access at Northwind Bar and the acceptability they allow folks to enter there. If you've been on Little Rice, there's really no other access on that lake. And these folks have allowed, there's a DNR access, but it's virtually impossible to get on based on the weed coverage and the accessibility. They have allowed folks to use that landing since they bought it, about 10 years now. The patio they are describing, I was the chairman of Burnett County Lakes and Rivers for 15 years. I've sat in your chair for a long time. And I've seen and heard and watched lots in Burnett County. Lots of things go on and people asking for this and people asking for that. In this particular case, from what I've observed, there is no question there needs to be a variance here. What they have done is absolutely perfect. It's safe, it makes it a welcoming situation, and is not in any way encroaching on the waterway there. Like I say, I work with Burnett County Lakes and Rivers. If I thought it was a nuisance or shouldn't be there, or gonna poison the lake, I'd tell you that. This is not the case. It belongs there. And I feel bad that it's kind of an after the fact thing, but it is what it is. This is really well done. If you haven't been there, you can check it out. It's very, very well done, and I hope that you'll see fit to grant them the variance they're asking for.
Thank you for your comment. Any other comments, public? Any letter from DNR or anything?
Nothing from the DNR.
If not, we'll close the public hearing and the committee will ask further questions, deliberate amongst ourselves. Like I said, this is many avenues on this one, or options, so. Any questions or concerns you guys have that you want to bring up? Do we want to separate the two for discussion purposes, going back and forth?
I agree.
Yeah, that makes sense because we've got two separate issues in a sense with the patio, and then we have the accessory cabin dwelling, plus you could argue that the camper thing is in there, but it's not on the,
No.
yeah, that's beyond that,
That's
so.
right.
You guys aren't dealing with.
Yep, it's on what's on there.
Other stuff.
Good.
I don't have a problem with the cabin. It's back away from the water. I'm sure it makes it more saleable. I'm not so worried about that.
I agree too. We've issued that in those permits in resorts, old resort condominiums where
Those
they
cabins are
went,
just so tiny.
they're tiny and
Hard to meet the 25%.
well, and then it's more, like Dan said,
functional.
it's more rentable to a family, a little bit more space there. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. Kathy, you got any thoughts on that?
I was going to say, I agree with that, and I was wondering if we want to do two separate, motions to approve or not approve.
Well, or we could put it all in one motion.
Should be able to if you were to approve. It's, okay, that's interesting when you have,
We read our conditions, we can say this is and this.
part of it can be approved, yeah. Wouldn't that make sense, Jason? Hate to throw you under the bus here. But we have two separate issues specified, so in.
Well, I could tell you what staff conditions go with
Correct.
which item, and I guess you could do two separate motions.
Well, or no, I'm just saying if one was approved and one wasn't, it'd just be you do the conditions on one, hypothetically.
Correct.
Yeah, so. So let's stick to the cabin, so. Variance at issue is the larger than 25% footprint, correct?
Correct.
That's been, yeah, I bet one doesn't necessarily bug me either, because sometimes that's in the circumstance. Again, when we have after the facts, that's a whole different can of worms, but that's just the way life is sometimes.
Well beyond the 75-foot setback, it's.
So let me see, bond. Sure. Issues.
The gravel patio wouldn't have been considered impervious back when that was prior to the paver being working on part of the cabin. It was just
The gravel wouldn't have been considered the rock, because I don't think it was road gravel, it was just rock, wasn't it?
Well, and when it was put in 2016, that was right about when that impervious regulations came about. So
The pavers? Or the
No,
rock?
the rock that would have been
Okay,
there would have
yeah.
been considered pervious or non-pervious.
I don't know, it was prior to the regulation being in place.
Okay, so
I think, when did I say that was?
218, you got on my aerial that it was gravel.
And then I think they stated they purchased it.
216, correct? Purchased in 216.
It's
Pardon me?
2015, there was nothing there other than the fire rain. So I'm guessing and that was spring of 2015.
when's
So I'm guessing it got placed in the summer of 2015, the gravel patio. You guys bought it in July 16, because it was there.
we got 15?
No, okay.
I think we're back to the 35-foot line in the sand.
Yeah, I think I gotta pause. Let's try to stick on the cabin 25 area, the 25%. I wanna see I was trying to find the conditions they recommended. You had said that for the variance for the 25%
Well,
over.
really, it would just be items 4 and 5.
Addition added and cabin without land use, you're saying, and patio by the lake?
Nope.
No.
So
Okay,
my
my
staff
recommendation.
recommendations on the last
Happens to
page.
have 200 pages of paper.
Yes.
Permits, pretty much.
So basically, it'd be land use permit to be attained.
Gotcha. Yep,
By seven
sorry.
fifteen, follow all local county state federal requirements. So those are the only two staff recommendations I had tied directly to the cabin. The other three are related to the patio.
Right. I'm comfortable with the cabin variance, bigger than 25% on that. That makes sense. It seems like we have a fairly good consensus, so we can basically table that or work on that and then hammer out what we want to do with the second part of it, which is the patio then.
Okay, so we're on the patio.
Correct.
Dan, you want to finish what you were gonna start?
Yeah, we've kind of got that line in the sand with 35-foot setback. 35-foot line.
We held that up for several pieces.
If I recall, it's approximately at 17 feet, if something, the front of it would have to be. I'm sticking from memory here.
On one comment, it said about 17 feet of the patio would have to be removed to get beyond the 35 feet from the ordinance.
It's a little deceiving, the map, it's got a dash line, but that's a property line, not the 35 foot. You can definitely see where this is a benefit to the resort and the business. These are, it's my mind, the word the compromise, pull the pavers back to the 35-foot line. Basically take that square footage and add it back between the 35 and the 75.
Move it outside,
Make it
Move it back.
so they'd be able to reuse it then in a sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Rather than be a square patio, it would become a rectangular patio from the 35-foot line back.
Oh, I see what you're
They
saying.
wouldn't lose any square footage. Does that make sense?
go east-west versus north-south.
Yeah.
for the lake.
Yeah, just get it behind that 35-foot line.
Yes, because we put 35, I mean, we just don't allow anything inside of 35 feet. That's just the way that we've been doing it. And like we've said many times, Burnett County is one of the most lenient Board of Adjustments in the state of Wisconsin. You go to Washburn County, if you go to Polk County, it's a no, if you look at their minutes and their meetings, they just don't allow anything.
I have no problem with that, the way you're talking, as long as we don't lose the square footage from that, I have no problem going back to 35 feet.
I believe that would trigger the shoreline restoration. Because it's within the 75-foot setback, according by the staff comments.
Yeah, there's a number of staff comments that we, go toward septic and everything else, so those are all. We go along with that.
We heard about that comment, but if that they're worried about that, we can always put outside porta potties. We're not looking for expanding seats in the bar. We're not expanding the bar. So if it's a worry about the sewer of our sewer, we're not, we'll put outside toilets throughout the summer. That is a concern.
And I think you said that in paperwork or someone did that it's our interpretation, but the rule is from state that any outdoor patio, that's the density of the seats or the stools is required for the permit for the restaurant.
Well, I think there was one of the letters in there
Yep.
that said that's where the people sit when the bar is too busy, so.
I don't know if somebody put that, but I know a lot of people sit out there to have a cigarette or enjoy the view. That's not saying all.
Well, yeah, I mean, one of the letters that was submitted in your application. Right? And that's how the state of Wisconsin looks at it. You have to size the sewer based on maximum capacity at the peak time. It doesn't matter if you're only serving that many for a week. That's how they interpret it, and that's how they force us to regulate it. Yep, they mandate how we do it, so.
Well, that was a good idea, Dan. I like that idea. I mean, there's a lot of letters in favor of what's going on here, that they're good stewards of the lake. They let people get out and fish. You know.
Yep.
I
I can see it. It's a great patio with a great view and
It's, yeah, everybody wants to sit there. We got it. It's just that we do have things that we're, need to follow also.
the staff comments are also asking for shoreline restoration, which is they want you to restore the shoreline to being more wild, and give you 30%, which 30% of the wide.
Be 66-foot wide viewing corridor on 220 feet.
And that's something that Emily would work with the guy in figuring out what that would be.
Entail a few plantings and some shrubberies and she's very good to work with. She's very good to work.
You just have to figure out where you want your 60 feet or 60, whatever.
I think it says in here 66 feet of
Yeah.
wide viewing corridor and access.
So that can be variable. You can move it to one side or the other, put it in the center, depending on the land.
Okay,
And they're also asking staff is also requesting gutters on cabins 2 and 3.
cabin 3 already has gutters, I put that in the packet, and cabin 2 does not, but
Okay.
I thought that was far enough away from the portion.
I guess, but they must be requesting that because it's within the 75-foot setback.
Yeah, well, the reason
It's mitigation.
I thought, I'm like, you probably don't wanna put gutters and downspouts on the bar because it's completely surrounded by concrete sidewalks. You have a parking lot on one side. Where are you gonna put a rain garden? You're a lot easier putting a rain garden over by those cabins where nobody's at. So that's why I put that in there. But if you guys wanna make them do it on the bar, I just think that's.
And a rain garden would probably be on that cabin, would probably be about a 10 by 10 area, about an 18-inch swale covered with mulch and some plantings. it looks good when it's done. It's easy to do, you can do it yourself if you have, it's not a big deal.
Front and back of the cabins or?
It would be just one, I think, I shouldn't say because Emily will design what you need for those size of those cabins, and
Like a flower bed.
it's basically like a flower. That's what it is. It's just to catch the rainwater and to dissipate in that area instead of running off and into the lake.
Even though there's no runoff right now, I mean, it's all grass.
I know,
There's a lot of traffic there. I mean, between the 4 cabins, there's a lot of traffic, so I mean. Like she said, we don't spray no chemicals. We try to do as much as we can. I mean, you see in the pictures that we haven't pulled no cactus, have done nothing other than mow the lawn.
it's just one of the things with it, we require when we grant the variance.
Especially after the fact.
But yeah, that's,
I mean, it's,
There's some
and I understand.
And it's there, you know.
I understand how people can not know on poured concrete or pavers that you need a permit to do that. I understand how that can happen completely. So we're not putting in judgment on you. We're just trying to work with you here.
Thank you.
Got any comments, Dana?
I've been there a number of times and obviously never during a time when it's been a heavy use, you know, the Tavern Bar book, you know, we've traveled all these places and it's always been just a great place to stop and as looking at it, it's rare to have a lake like that where that's the only spot on the lake, you know, and it's overwhelming by the letters. Even like is a township, I can't remember his name, but he's well aware of it. I think based on their accepting the fact that changes or some of the modifications will have to take place in order for us to consider granting the variance. Won't be easy, but I mean.
Emily, you did also note something about shrubs on the. Shrubs and taller woody vegetation be planted around the remaining patio area to shield from the lake. That was on the. One memo that. You're the secretary.
I know. It's like you need to highlight them.
So that would be in number 3 on Jason's report would be Emily's land use permit for the patio with approved shoreline restoration and
correct.
rain garden plan. So that would be, she would come out and set up the plan and work with you on that. Like I said, she's very good work. I've had to work with her quite a few times I'm a builder, so I've had to work with her quite a few times on it. And if I can put a rain garden in, you can.
Any clarification, Dan, with your idea? I think we're talking just the 35 setback, no portion of the patio would be in the 35, but they would be allowed then to move.
So I think you basically were saying they get the same amount of square footage as long as none of it's within 35
Correct.
feet of the lake.
26 by 30 square footage.
Of the current one,
Yeah.
yeah, and 17 feet of it was within 35 approximately. Granted, it's
Kind of.
And again, that Emily would help with that definition of that.
it gets tough, right?
Well, we could we would be able to say where the 35.
So that they don't go and all of a sudden, oh, no, it's gonna be.
Yeah, I don't take anything out until you talk to Emily and, you know, we'd be able to put a chalk line on it or something and say, okay, here's the.
Here's the safe
35.
zone.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would be needed because I know that we try not to get into putting our surveyor stuff on parcels.
Slow,
Well, I think there's a time frame.
Ask Jason on that.
I didn't hear that one.
I said something like that, can that be a fall project when it's slow?
Yes.
I think we usually grant about a year before.
Well, the variance is good for a year. And usually you don't wanna be planting vegetation in July or August, and it's horrible outside, so yeah, either, and we're
Fall or spring.
getting pretty close right now to getting too far. You know,
Yep.
into summer by the time, cause you guys won't even sign these documents until June, so that's when it'll be officially determined. So yeah, we would do something where you would plant it and do that stuff in the fall, so it can grow. It doesn't die.
It says on the staff notes too that sanitary system for the 3 allowed campers will need to be resolved. Is that where you have the big holding tanks for each one of them?
400 for the, yeah, the gallons.
Scratching that.
That's not,
Well, you guys,
that's not.
that's not part of this variance.
No.
So we don't have.
It was in staff notes.
I wrote, so when a variance, anything comes through.
Yep.
I go through the property with a fine tooth comb, that's why you see things in there that I wasn't even aware about before. I go through every permit, everything in the files. So that's why there's other notes in there.
Okay, and that's why I answered those questions, because I saw it in your report.
Okay.
Yep.
I think we have a consensus now, is can we put it into words?
Who wants to figure this out?
Yeah, this is Dan's idea.
All right, I'll attempt at making a motion. Make a motion, we approve 2605 Bone. All right. To approve, you guys are all watching me, to approve the cabin 1 25% expansion, over 25% expansion. To approving,
Well, you would
And altered,
amend the patio, would probably be approve and amend the patio.
approve and amend the patio. They can keep it the same square footage as long as all of it's beyond the 35-foot ordinary watermark setback. With
That wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
That's 5 things.
With these 5 requirements, shoreline to follow state standard viewing and access corridor width, which is not to exceed 30% of the shoreline of the corridor width. And the vegetated natural area needs to be a depth of 37.5 feet landward from the ordinary watermark. It's the same requirement as listed in state statute 59.6921 VD, which allows for up to 200 square feet of open-sided construction within the 75-foot setback. They have approximately 220 feet of shoreline on the portion of the parcel near the patio, which would allow a 66-foot wide viewing and access corridor on that portion of the parcel. Number 2, gutters and downspouts on both cabins 2 and 3 with the water directed to a rain garden.
Just 2.
They said they had one on.
Correct, but number
But
3.
it's still required, yeah.
Number 3 would have to go to the rain garden too.
Oh,
This is to offset exceeding over 200 square feet within the 75-foot setback, being this property isn't eligible for state statute provision 59.6921 VD. Land use permit for the patio, number 3, land use permit for the patio with approved shoreline restoration and rain garden plan to be obtained by 7/15 of 26. Number 4, land use permit for the cabin expansion to be obtained by 7/15 of 2026. And number 5, follow all local, county, state, and federal requirements for this activity.
Motion by Campion with 5 conditions. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Schmidt. Any other discussion on variance 2605 Vaughn with conditions read? If not, all in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. You approve 2605 Vaughn. Thank you.
Yes, do not throw that one away.
Which one?
The
The,
appeal.
the appeal that
Yep.
we'll see next month from the town.
At this time, we'll listen to variance 2606 Lindsay to leave a porch at a reduced road setback.
Look. I don't have a lot to say, it's not, some last August 15th, we closed on a house built by Timberland Cottages. Okay. And I didn't general it. Eric Loomis built the house. He owned the lot right up to the closing. So we closed, we have the house. Okay. Everybody had all the prints and the porch was included on those prints. So that's that. Later on, I actually talked to Tammy. I was just talking about the side setbacks because I was thinking about a deck. When according to that, where it's set, I could only build like a 6-7 foot deck. So I decided to combine the lots. We had bought the lots to the left and right of our main lot. So I went to combine them. So I hired Wagner Surveying, and in that process, they said, you're violating the front setback. Okay, the porch, and they told me about that. And I contacted zoning. I could have stopped the process and worried about it later, but I contacted the zoning, and that's why I'm here. So there's, I don't know any details you need to know, but I brought this upon myself by admitting it happened. And the only other thing to say is I do not see any benefit in tearing off the front porch. I don't see, I mean, I understand it's violating the right of way, but I don't see where anybody receives any benefit by me taking it off. It lessens the functionality of the house. And that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to tell you.
I don't have,
Questions?
I think that's it in a nutshell.
If no further information, you can go ahead and sit back and open the public hearing. At this time, we'll open public hearing variance 2606 Lindsay to leave a porch at reduced road setback. Any comments from anyone in attendance? Comments? Jason, anything needed at the last second that came in? Anything in here? No comments from Emily. Yep. Nothing.
Are we on discussion for us or are we still on public comment?
Hearing no public comments, the public hearing is closed. Yep, sorry, guys.
Yeah, this, I mean, we all looked at it. I mean, Boys Village is never gonna expand that road where they're gonna need to. And it's a berm there, so nobody's gonna drive in there.
Deer path there.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and it was one of those things that I don't see any problem with it.
I drove both ways to see if there's any impeding, view, and it doesn't even come into view till you're right upon it, coming back from. I guess that would be coming from the west.
Honey,
Yeah.
Honey intersection.
Really no public safety issues. It's,
No, and that's what we're looking for, to protect our lakes and rivers and public safety mainly, right?
I have no further questions. Anything else?
I would make a motion to approve variance number 2606 Lindsay to leave the porch, which unbeknownst to the Lindsay the purchase phase, it's too close to their property.
Only one condition,
One condition to follow all local, county, state, and federal requirements for this activity, which they've taken a $500 permit off to take care of.
yep,
I have a motion by Daniels. Do I have a second?
A second.
Seconded by Campion. Both already in the minutes, so it don't matter.
You're giving alibi.
Any other discussion on 200606 Lindsay? We have a motion with one condition and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries to approve 2606 Lindsay. Thank you. That could be a record. That might be.
Well, it should.
I understand.
Thank you.
No, I just teach myself. At this time, we'll entertain variance 2608 Middlestead to leave an accessory structure at reduced private road setback at a reduced wetland setback.
The hot seat's not so hot.
Somebody warmed it up for me. Hi, I'm Jeannie Middlestead. I own the property at 8089 Big Dr. Lake Road. That's my permanent residence. It's very small. It doesn't have much storage space, 2 closets and a utility closet. The container, which is on the private road, is strictly for storage. I have boat motors, water paddle boards, tools, table saws, chainsaws, and always trees falling down in my area. And so I need that. The container is not visible from the lake. It's not impeding traffic on the private road. All varieties of traffic, cars, trucks, LPs, the septic tanks, plow trucks. Even with a park there, there's still room to go both ways. There's 2 properties past me. And I think both my neighbors, Jim and John, wrote letters. The property at the end is a rental property and it's currently for sale. Been for sale for a couple of years. But, so there's not a whole lot of traffic on the road other than bears and deer and turkeys. And that sort of thing. I just don't have any place to put anything if I don't have the storage container. Hoping that you will let me leave it where it is. So
Who's pontoon right next to it? That's yours.
mhm. So it will be launched, so.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. So I just got my dock out last weekend, so.
I don't have any questions.
If you don't have anything else, then you can.
Take
Basically,
the hot seat.
yep. So, thank you.
See, you shut the ringer off. Still don't. I had a heart attack. How about you guys?
Bottom in bed.
You were kind of used to it. I always shut it off. The wife had it and she turned it back on.
Mhm.
At this time, we'll open the public hearing for 2608 Middlestead. Any comments from the public?
My name is John Magnuson. I'm the author of the letter that's in the packet supporting this variance. I just wanted to add that it's my personal belief that Ms. Middlestead has met the intent of the 3 requirements. Also, on a lighter note, we love Emily at Big Dr. Lake. Burnett County is incredibly lucky to have her. Thank you very much.
I forgot to mention that there's another letter that wasn't mentioned in the field notes, so both my neighbors provided letters.
Yeah, you have 2 letters in the packet. Jim Britton, which is the neighbor, asked her house, and then James Magnuson for her house.
So that's the last driveway on the left past your place, and then there's just one going straight there. And that's the end of the road there.
I'm Douglas Crane from North Country Surveying. I did the survey for the property. there is literally no room on this property to put anything. Out there is 5 feet.
I was noticing that with the wetland setback for everything in the water and the road. It's tight.
Unique property.
And I want to say that I support the variance. I'm also a neighbor.
No comments that you, or any other information you have, Jason? Any letters? Okay. Hearing no other comments, we'll close the public hearing. The committee will deliberate amongst ourselves and hopefully come up with a decision.
What do you think, Jared? You were there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough lot.
Unique property.
I mean, there's just-
Yes.
You gotta go up if you wanna go anywhere else.
Right, and you know, you're a fireman, you've been on the fire department, there's no trouble getting a fire truck in there,
No.
right? You'd have to back out anyway,
Yep.
right?
No, it's not any closer than the pontoon was to the road.
Right, and you could put a boat and a pontoon and whatever you wanted there.
I mean, if it was not a busy road, it'd be a different deal, but this is the end of a dead end road. It's,
Yeah.
The ambulance can make it there.
can they make it out?
If they can find it.
With me, they did, yeah.
There we go, there we go. Well. Got the support of all the neighbors. You can't see it from the lake. On the end of the road.
And it's better than adding onto our house right by the lake.
I don't know how you do that
I
exactly.
can't believe any of us would ever
Storage.
have seen that unless
No,
we're going to look at it.
Right, exactly.
I don't have anything further.
Sure.
I'm going to make a motion that we accept variance 2608 Middlestat and where are my staff notes? Looking where I need to say. Okay, a land use permit is to be obtained for the structure by 7/15/26. Follow all floodplain requirements. You need a lock and chain on your septic tank, however, last July.
Already in,
Okay,
Done deal.
follow all local, county, state, and federal requirements for this activity.
Motion by Schmidt with 4 conditions, if I'm not mistaken. Do I have a second on 2608 Middlestate?
A second.
Yep, I heard 2 of it. Seconded by Daniels. Any other discussion on 2608? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries to approve variance 2608 Middlestate. At this time, we will hear variance 2609 Magistad to leave a garage at reduced setback along to Logging Creek.
Good evening, I'm here seeking variance for 10 feet. When the garage that was built, the setback is 75 feet from the creek. It was built at 65 feet, that turns at 10 feet. And the existing hunting shack that is there was built 57 feet from the creek. And I had it surveyed and it's not in the floodplain. And the hardship is, I wanted to leave it there. If I move it 10 feet, it'll be in front of the shack. And the last window there, I want to turn it into a door. That we step right into the service door of the garage during inclement weather. We had a lawyer fill out the variance application, and that's all I have.
And everything was in the packet, so. Any questions you guys have now? Otherwise, we can have them set back with a public hearing and then we can ask further questions if needed at any times.
I don't have any questions.
Thank you.
Sit back down.
Yep.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll open up the public hearing for variance 2609. To leave a garage at a reduced setback. Any comments from the public that are here? Any new information that isn't in the packet, Jason, that came in late that we may need to reference or so? Nope. Hearing no information here, we will close the public hearing. Committee will deliberate amongst ourselves, and hopefully come up with a solution.
A unique property again.
Very much so. Yeah, kind of a weird shaped lot.
Yeah, and I drove it from both sides, you know. Really not visible at all from other side of the creek, but regardless, it's too horned in on that. The gate was closed from the rear of it.
I was going to say the shoreline is very natural and isn't any kind of.
Yeah, this is, I guess, one of the first times this has kind of come up. When we tend to talk the 75-foot thing, in my mind, I think lakes and views. You know, we sometimes talk Namakan River or some of the bigger St. Croix River that might run through and you have that applicable. I do live in the area and Logging Creek runs into every parcel in their place, pretty much streaming through and stuff. And it's like, I don't honestly ever see this gentleman looking to have a viewing corridor to the creek.
Much less a dock.
Well, yeah, but when you read the conditions, I in my brain, because I'm so familiar with it, it's like, I can think of all the houses in town Anderson there that are on that creek, and it's very few that even are aware it's in their backyard. But yet, it is waterway, and it's registered, and it applies to shoreline zoning. But when you mention that, like, is that, it's not within 35 feet, it's, if I'm, according to that map, and I believe that's right, it's 65 feet is about where it is from the thing, which if it wasn't coming ahead of the time would seem reasonable to me in that dynamic, so. Do want to focus on the Lomo process, because that doesn't come up a whole lot and the paperwork's in there. You had some correspondence, Jason?
Well, this was a tricky one, and Doug, I'm sure can, Doug leave, he left,
Okay.
testify to that, yeah, they, 'cause there's no floodplain, but what did they do on, there was, how did they model that or something?
What is this about? I don't.
It's in it just, like I said, it's not something that we've seen, and when I seen all the paperwork, it's like just almost for our own. Yeah, I believe so. Oh, hang on. We're on 09, right? Yeah. Unless I mixed up my prints.
No, this is the one that it was in the floodplain and Doug did some work to, some analysis to get it out.
But those were met then to your satisfaction is,
Yeah,
I guess was my question. Okay.
yes.
And yeah, that is, that, I mean, that whole area is super flat level. I know history that, like I said, because I think in the 80s, the Fish Lake or Redden Dike blew out. And like I said, it's a natural barrier there, but there's pictures of the roads where it was like everything flooded, but that's not uncommon. And half the roads in town Anderson are underwater in the spring, so.
We had a pretty heavy rain last week, and I was there the next day or the day after. And the creek was about this deep was.
Infected my.
No, it really didn't.
It's not, definitely not navigable.
That's true, very much so.
You won't see all those culverts.
really sandy out down there too, so pretty much everything soaks right in the ground.
If I see puddles, I get nervous.
Mhm.
For more than 12 hours, 20, I mean, something's wrong if they stay a day, but. I also have groundwater at 9 feet, so. Yeah, I couldn't even do a basement. I had to stop 3 inches short because it was perking right up underneath the footing. Like, yeah, that's enough. We're deep enough. Glacial sand is all that is, about 8 to 11 miles off the river. And then you get across 87, it turns to clay and harder stuff. But. No, I'm Gavin. You really are.
You
Yeah.
kind of hypothesizing you don't want to do shoreline restoration on this?
You just, I don't think, it just a sec, I just.
The row of pine trees are right in between that and the.
I mean, he meets the requirements.
Correct, there is in a sense.
Standard language that we
Yep.
have for any shoreline thing is that
Mhm.
item number one. And that's why it says, you know, he's got,
But that is a rule, that's not, we can't deny it, but,
yeah, I mean, that's a state rule.
but you don't have to choose to have a corridor.
No, you don't have to. Yeah, we're not gonna force him to cut 200 feet wide. Yeah, but if somebody wanted to, we would
Yep.
say you can't go more than 200.
Mhm.
Correct.
There's issue with the container. Storage container.
Yeah, can't be permitted where it's at, it's too close to the property line and stuff. And then I'm assuming if they built a garage, you could get rid of the container.
Okay, that goes along with it then.
Or move it and permit it.
Yeah, or move it and permit it. Yeah.
You have to be at 10 feet. For the property line.
30. 30, because that would be, that's considered their front. The front is the way you go into your parcel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have to go into the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then you're looking for the privy to be removed, portable toilet be removed, and sanitary to be evaluated or built. She was asking for gutters and downspouts in the garage.
Yeah, I guess I didn't ask for gutters and downspouts. He's his buffers, like you said, does 65. Yeah, it's wild. There's, in my mind, there's no need to do both.
Okay.
Normally, we would do gutters and downspouts and shoreline restoration like the bar one that was first, because they had so much stuff within 75 feet that they can't even do the shoreline restoration under the code. They had to do something else. This, I don't feel necessary.
That's probably the most natural lot I've ever been. To look at, I mean, really. It's,
So are we suggesting to read the shoreline restoration stuff in just as a protection?
I would leave it in there, just hypothetically, let's say someone else buys it in 5 years and they cut down every single tree on the lot. Well, we would be able to hang our hat on this and be like, hey, that variant garage was approved with the variance or the condition that you can't have to leave. You know, you can only cut 200 linear feet. I see I have a typo in there. I said allows for up to 200 square feet. Oh, no, that is right, didn't it? 200 foot, yeah, so they could have a 200-foot wide viewing and access corridor. So let's say somebody else hypothetically bought it and cut 500 feet wide. You could go lean back on this. That's why I always like to keep the conditions in there.
No,
Just
not-
because you can never predict what's gonna happen or.
No, we're not doing it for the moment. This is,
Certainly
In
not
the book.
affects, yeah,
Stop it.
won't affect the present case.
no,
Yeah,
either way, he would be compliant to the rules that were set, so.
Yep.
Okay, so here's a dilemma I have, Jason.
Mhm.
We talk we're here for variances and specific stuff.
Yes.
But our staff recommendations and digging at parcels find stuff, cause I know that being a former chairman of the town and with the CAFO and sanitary systems, that we're not sure in our records that this is a compliant system.
Mhm.
And it's never been parceled that way, so how, I mean. That's an interesting dilemma, cause it's like we stick to the permit, but then the only recourse government has is when you go pull a permit for something or you have a reason to go on site. We do a lot of regulation in sewer systems. Every 3 years, they gotta be pumped out. We state in every variance that comes before us that you have to meet the current compliance issues. If your cabin was a 1 cabin and you wanna build it to a 3 cabin, you gotta bring your sewer up to date for the amount of bedrooms there. If we don't have a sewer system on file, how, I mean, I'm actually curious legally, what do we do? Cause I find it as, can you add a condition that they become compliant with 2 years on sewer?
What, so there's two different ways we can handle it. You can make it part of the condition of the variance. Or you can leave it off there and I can pursue it as a violation on my own.
That actually sounds better to me your way than us trying to implement conditions that they didn't come before and ask. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, from a legal perspective.
This gives me more teeth though, cause then I have another stick.
Yeah.
Where right now I'd have 1 stick.
No, and this is, you bring your parcel in, whether it was your fault or not, when we buy stuff and the parcel. It has a history whether you own it or not.
Mhm.
And we're just trying to be compliant on that stuff. So, okay, that makes sense. I think we could leave it as a condition to be fixed within a time frame or remedied.
And I'll explain the reason why I didn't do it, suggest all that stuff on the first variance tonight.
Yep.
Is because that's a campground that I'm gonna be going after that doesn't have state. There's multiple other parties that are gonna be involved.
Yep, correct.
In that one, so, cause I'll have the state that can help me on that too, so.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I said, we're a quasi judicial in a sense organization and I am not a judge or a lawyer.
Well,
But
and
we
what-
wanna protect our county and when we're aware, it's like, I'll do some research offline too or whatever later and just say like, when we have conditions that, what is our ability to impose conditions that aren't referenced in the application process, but are county violations? I don't have that answer. That's why I'm asking, cause it's, the thought process gets to me, it's like, okay, what is our, or make sure we at least word it properly, that it holds up if we were to get challenged.
I always feel like if somebody's asking for something, maybe they should
I agree.
try to bring everything up to spec at that point in time too.
Yep.
Make it a clean break then.
They're getting something, we're getting compliance.
Kind of like all the shoreline restorations and
Yeah.
stuff. Go ahead and keep the fire
Yeah.
pit, but we're gonna make you do this.
Is it the right way to do it? I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, if it is.
It's a way.
Yeah.
A great way to do it.
yeah, and I think that's something that, like I said, that's just why I'm asking, because it's like you get confusing back and forth on some of that, and we wanna be doing the proper thing and looking out for the county in that perspective too, and I do know we have spent a lot of money, and that's one of the reasons these committees exist, is old sewer pipes going into the lakes and all that were non-compliant, because that just happened to be the best practice at the time hypothetically.
And sewers is probably one of the biggest. That bad sewer can lead to some pretty bad things happening, I guess. In different places, so. An item I guess we focus on quite a
We
bit.
don't have to talk about now, yep, good.
You ready?
Yep.
I would make a motion to approve the variance. 26-09. And we're gonna put in the shoreline restoration. We're gonna shoreline to follow the state standard viewing and access corridor width, which is not to exceed 30% of the shoreline for the corridor width. And the vegetated natural area needs to be the depth of 37.5 feet landward from the ordinary high water mark. This is the same requirement as listed in the state statute 59.692. 1VD, which allows for up to 200 square feet of open-sided construction within the 75-foot setback. They have approximately 930 feet of shoreline, which would allow 200-foot wide viewing and access corridor. A land use permit for the garage to be obtained by 7/15/2026. The storage container to be removed or moved within code compliance. Abandoned pit privy to be removed and the hole filled by 7/15/2026. The portable toilet to be removed by 7/15/2026. A sanitary sewer evaluation to be completed by a Wisconsin licensed plumber by 7/15/2026. If no legal sanitary system exists, then a code compliant sanitary system with proper permits needs to be installed by 9/1/2026. Follow all local, county, state, and federal requirements for this activity.
Motion by Peterson with 7 conditions,
I'll second.
seconded by Campion. Any other discussion on variance 2609? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries to approve 2609.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll review variance 2610. Okay.
Attack.
Patek, thank you. Was that right? Yeah. Okay, good, thanks, Mr. Peterson, appreciate it. To expand a non-conforming cabin dwelling more than 25%.
So I am Charlotte Wiltermuth. I'm representing my grandfather, Michael Patak. My great grandfather, Don Patak, built the cabin in the 60s. And since then our family's grown a lot. In the 60s, or since then, the cabin has become too close to the road by today's standards. We wouldn't be building closer to the road, it would be more parallel with the road. It would be a 3-season porch, just to accommodate our growing family and also increase the usability of the cabin. I don't know much more information to tell you. The wetlands are on the opposite side of the cabin, more towards the driveway. It's more of like a swampy wetlands it would be, but it's nowhere near where the construction would happen.
So it goes north.
Yep.
Right. And then will it have windows or will it have screens?
Windows. I believe there will be a screen door to go outside.
Okay.
Is there any more information you need from me right now?
I don't have.
I don't have any.
He wants out the hot seat.
I don't believe it. It's a terrible place to be.
We need more than 5 minutes of speech here.
At this time, we'll open public hearing for 2610 to expand non-conforming cabin dwelling to 25%. Any public comment? Any letters that came in late pertaining to it? No. If not, we will close the public hearing and deliberate amongst ourselves.
They are actually a neighbor to mine and they've been a great steward of the land. They've managed their forest real well and the Pateks have been there for, like you said, your grandfather built it. It's not going any closer to the little duck pond that's down below the hill. It's on the other side of the road. There's more runoff from the road. Blacktop Road going into the lake than it's gonna be off of this 3-season addition. They just redid T last year. It's brand new road, so they're not gonna expand it any wider than what they did. They had that opportunity then and they didn't, so
And the expansion's opposite where the driveway is, so
Yes,
it's
yes.
certainly not bothering anything going in that direction.
Right, and it's not any, but it's not hurting the public interest at all. It's not hurting the lake at all. I just don't have any problem with it at all.
You know the distance to the water was it?
Well, it's quite a ways. It's gotta be 150 feet.
Yep.
Measured, it's a long.
It's a long ways. It's quite a ways down the hill from the road.
Perhaps the best part of this, they're doing it before they built it.
Yes.
1 out of 6, right?
Yes.
Sorry,
No, there's some irony, yeah.
the shining star tonight.
That cabin is about 180 feet from the lake.
Yeah.
See, I want to say something on record. Thank you, Tammy, for everything you do for the county, and Jason, thank you for everything you do for the county. You guys make our job that much easier.
I'll second you.
We appreciate it.
I can't get your only name in there in minutes. Yes, and the printer. The county printer.
Well, the forestry department, you
7
know.
of us, that's 1,400 pages, we just sell.
Just in that one.
Timber sales or. I don't have any issue, this, like, I'm ready for a motion.
I would make a motion to approve the permit as per the plans we were submitted. There's 3 conditions. You would have to obtain a land use permit prior to construction. Need to put a lock and chain installed on the septic tank by 7/15 of 2026. And follow all local, county, state, and federal requirements for this activity.
I have a motion by Peterson with three stipulations.
Second.
Seconded by Schmidt. Any other discussion on 2610? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries to approve variance 2610. Thank you.
All right, so I got some stuff for you guys to sign.
Keep your 2601.
Yep.
Is there nothing that changes?
Here's the packet for the other stuff for next month. Then besides the one we've got to keep, the appeal one.
Oh, it's still sick.
Yeah.
How many are you? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And I'm signed.
12,
the
13.
same document from last month. This was the one that was denied, the porch on Mudhead.
Any blowback on?
I guess. This is the one, which one is this one? Best Garage on Yellow Lake Road, is that, the narrows?
Oh, yeah.
Between the big one, and the little yellow.
Who'll be building that?
Pardon me?
You know who's gonna be building that?
I do. John, or, Bill Pratt. The Span Creek
This
Garage.
one
Yeah.
is
Oh, he was here.
I think Dan told me.
the wetland, garage in the wetland setback on Clem Lake Drive.
The mystery location.
And this is the house on 70 on Viola Lake on the steep mountainside.
Yeah, that's a tough build.
Maybe it happened.
And that should be it, so you can adjourn and do whatever you wanna do.
We are adjourned.
And I need mileage from, I got Kathy's.
109.
Got Dan and I'm on Dan's sheet.
You got Dan's